Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Chainlink, Bitcoin Cash, everything is down a bit today, guys. The market cap is down slightly, down to $359.2 billion. And guys, you can see up here, Bitcoin dominance sitting at 59.5%, so just shy of 60%. Look at the market, a little bit of red here, but not by much. You know, we have been seeing this kind of indecisive move for cryptos over the last few days now after Bitcoin reached a high of about 12,000, almost 12,500. We've seen a bit of a dip, and that has been mirrored in the rest of the crypto space. This is Bitcoin on the daily. If I bring up XRP, same kind of thing. Okay, what's seeming, or rather what's looking like a double top for XRP is just the pattern that we're seeing right now. And it's essentially just following Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the market will go up. If Bitcoin goes down, the rest of the market will go down. So that's no surprise, considering we have seen, you know, this significant uptrend over the last couple of months. We need to cool down a bit, and so that's exactly what Bitcoin's doing. However, analysts are now fearing that a strong US dollar will dampen Bitcoin's bullish momentum. That is something that makes sense, obviously, but have we seen the same kinds of trends in the past? So Bitcoin and gold price dropped as the US dollar index rallied, leading analysts to speculate whether a strong dollar will slow Bitcoin's momentum. On August 21st, Bitcoin price declined by more than 3% from around 11,880 to about 11,511 on Coinbase. Coincidentally, the US dollar index started to rebound from its 4-month downturn, as the dollar increased from 1.3% from $92.28 to $93.20. Bitcoin, major cryptocurrencies, and gold fell in tandem. The seemingly inverse correlation between the dollar and Bitcoin might indicate that the weakening dollar partially catalyzed Bitcoin's recent rally. Will a strong dollar rally reverse Bitcoin's momentum? So this is the question we have to ask ourselves, because the idea is, with the weakening dollar, people are losing confidence in the greenback and therefore investing in alternative currencies like cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, including XRP. But since the major Black Thursday Bitcoin correction, analysts have attributed the current BTC rally to the fading dollar. Researchers at Kraken wrote, behind the surge, Bitcoin's correlation with gold strengthened to a one-year high of 0.93. This occurred as markets turned to safe haven assets amid an uptick in beer flu cases, increased government spending, mixed corporate earnings, inflation fears, and a weakening U.S. dollar. Let's take a look at the U.S. dollar right now. And we'll compare it to the Canadian dollar. Let me put it here on the weekly. I'm going to compare it to some other fiat currencies as well. So you can see here the US greenback is weakening compared to the Canadian dollar. Traditionally, the US dollar is stronger than the Canadian dollar. If we look at it compared to the, let's look at the, no, what are we looking at? All right, how about the Japanese yen for a second here? We can see not too much movement on the US dollar with the yen, although a slight downturn. How about the GBP, Great British Pound, GBP here? And we can see, right, a weakening here. It strengthened when the stock market took a dump, and now we're seeing that inverse relationship with the greenback and the stock market. So against the GBP now coming down a bit. Again, guys, this is on the weekly. USD CNY, which is the Chinese yuan, and we're seeing this trend come down as well on the weekly. Again, this trend here happening since about mid-May, so this downward momentum for the greenback compared to the Chinese yuan. And we know Bitcoin is very popular in Asian countries. What I found interesting was this. So if we look at the, so if we go back on this chart, so this is the USD to the CNY, the Chinese yuan, and if you look at the entirety of 2017 here, you can see that the Chinese yuan was gaining on the USD. You can see the USD was going down, so the Chinese yuan was becoming a stronger currency in comparison. Well, what else was happening in 2017? Obviously, Bitcoin was rallying as well. Now, that theory makes sense, except for the fact that Bitcoin was also rallying in 2016. And so 2016 Bitcoin was rallying, and we're seeing two very, very different trends here. Of course, this is just compared to one particular currency, the Chinese yuan, and I'm sure you'll see different patterns compared to different fiat currencies. However, the fact remains that analysts still are assuming that the Bitcoin rally might dampen a little bit if we see a recovery for the US greenback. So that is certainly something that I'm going to keep my eye on. And yesterday, guys, I talked about this Chris Larsen op-ed in The Hill. I read a little bit of it. You can check it out. It was in yesterday's video, guys. I'll link the link up here to yesterday's video, right in the top right-hand corner up here. But I wanted to get to something that I didn't talk about there. I kind of went over the main points. Larsen described that a focus on 5G and AI should not overshadow the threat from China with digital currencies and blockchain technology. According to Larsen, the Chinese government has subsidized vast amounts of energy needed to fuel cryptocurrency miners. So we talked a little bit about the US and their tech Cold War with China. And this is something I found interesting. According to Larsen, at least 65% of cryptocurrency mining is concentrated in China. We've heard that figure before, which means the Chinese government has the majority needed to wield control over those protocols and can effectively block or reverse transactions. Larsen cites an article on how China has more than 65% of the global Bitcoin hash rate, although the University of Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance that conducted the report explained that overall hash rate in the study may not be fully representative. The CCAF commented their study represents only a little more than a third of the total hash rate, and all the data is provided by 3 Bitcoin mining pools that are all headquartered in China. The CCAF hopes to provide a more in-depth report in the future that can add data from major mining regions such as Serbia in Russia, Washington and New York states in the US, Quebec and Alberta in Canada in their upcoming reports. So again, guys, if you haven't read this, it's an interesting article because it is Chris Larsen directly addressing the U.S. policymakers. Now, we know, obviously, he has a vested interest in this because he heads the company Ripple. Nevertheless, despite that, it is an important step in the right direction for a true and fair cryptocurrency framework to be laid out. Another point that I wanted to touch on that I didn't talk about yesterday was that he urges U.S. regulators to move to Silicon Valley and see how the region is a powerhouse for the United States economy. Let's think about this for a second. Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook. Think of how much these companies are worth alone. Think about how much they contribute to the U.S. economy. Think about where they're all located. Okay, not to mention all the other Silicon Valley companies like Ripple, as we know, that want to change the future face of finance. What I found kind of funny here, disclosure, this is from the author Jason Brett. I do own some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XPR. Okay, I think that was just a typo, but kind of comical nonetheless. The Cryptic Poet here, guys, posted this with NSF International. The VeChain Foundation has gained another well-known partner who will use VeChain toolchain. So this, for you VeChain fans out there, the VeChain Foundation has attracted another big name with NSF International just days after gaining the Grant Thornton partnership. Guys, I mentioned that in a previous video. NSF International is an American company that operates in 150 countries worldwide and is a provider of risk management solutions for public health and safety. Producers, regulators, and consumers turn to NSF International to develop public health standards and certification programs to protect food, water, consumer products, and the environment in general. NSF International has announced yesterday that it has issued a new beer flu safety protocol certification using VeChain's blockchain as a service, the BaaS platform, the VeChain toolchain. The company stated that there is currently a lack of methods for assessing the level of viruses in food, which is why it is introducing the VeChain-based certification. So VeChain partnering up with NSF International. This was from a couple of days ago. I didn't get to it in yesterday's video. I wanted to get to it, but I was on such a roll that I felt like it kind of didn't fit where I was going with the rest of the video. Nevertheless, bringing it to you today if you haven't heard the news. If you have, oh well. So think about this for a second, okay? Safety measures with regards to something that is so topical globally right now, the beer flu pandemic, and how they are going to be able to trace, track, and make sure that our food, just to name one item, is safe in and amongst this flurry of uncertainty, I guess I'll call it. So here's a quote. This cooperation combined with NSF's professional certification services and VeChain's advanced standardized blockchain products helps enterprises to move their own immunity while practicing their internal food safety skills and present health and safe product information to customers in a simple and intuitive way to improve product credibility. Guys, a lot of people are suggesting that the beer flu is not going away ever, that we will have to live with it more or less for the rest of our lives. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that, in some cases, will we see more people wearing masks in North America, kind of like what we were seeing in China even before the beer flu outbreak? Does it mean there will be more safety protocols in place when we go to restaurants or the doctor's office or anywhere like that? If this is the case, then companies like VeChain are really going to make a splash, really are going to be desirable companies for the economy, not just the United States, the world economy, because of new safety protocols that might be put into place. So a very, very interesting company to look at, guys, a very, very interesting cryptocurrency to look at if you haven't already figured out what VeChain is doing. Right now, the VET token trading at about 0.0178 cents. So this is it on the weekly. I'll put it to you on the hourly, or rather, let's go on the daily here. This is VeChain on the daily. Saw significant gains throughout March, April, May, June. Now trading at 0.017 cents. I know all you guys that got in at 0.003 are like, oh yeah, baby, VeChain. Still a very, very good company. This is another long hold, I think, kind of like XRP, although that is not financial advice. Guys, do your own research on the cryptocurrencies that you are deciding to purchase. Guys, I saw this from XRP Crypto Wolf. The Bahamas Central Bank puts its digital currency on its official balance sheet in April, so they're moving forward with that. In a financial statement published in late April, the Central Bank of the Bahamas achieved a little-known milestone, including its brand new digital currency on its balance sheet, first included on page 47 of its annual report. The central bank noted that it had put $48,000 worth of the sand dollar into circulation. The document later notes the bank made a pilot testing of the sand dollar in Exuma and has issued sand dollars in circulation valued at $48,000 to various retailers. And so, not sure if you guys know this or not, but a lot of these Caribbean nations tend to use the US dollar just because it is convenient. There's such a small population anyway, and a lot of their industry revolves around tourism. Many Americans do go visit these countries to go on vacation. So the USD has been central to a lot of these Caribbean nations. Now, they do have their own fiat currencies, so I'm wondering how this is going to impact that. If countries like the Bahamas are going to now utilize the sand dollar, how is this going to affect tourism? How is this going to affect people traveling in? Now, of course, we all know if we can all get on a system that is interoperable, it kind of won't matter where tourists are coming from. They can kind of just use whatever currency they want and transfer to whatever currency is in that specific country. But I still feel like that is a few years away. So this is an interesting pilot test. Wondering how this is all going to roll out, guys. I'll link this article in the description if you want to read further. And are some of you guys wondering how to get your Flare tokens? Well, Steedus here on Twitter has the solution for you. This is from XRP_Crow. Guys, follow Steedus on Twitter. He's a great guy, comes up with some great infographics to help the XRP community, especially if you are new to the community. So how to claim Spark tokens on the Flare network, and he links to his website here, a more detailed website on how to do that. So again, guys, I'll link that in the description, but here, how to claim Spark tokens on the Flare network. First, visit flare.weets.com, check all the boxes under step 1, disclaimer, warnings, acknowledgements, what you need. So you need a Ledger Nano S, you need to have the latest Ledger's firmware version 1.6.1 and latest XRP app version 2.0.1. And for those of you guys who don't have a Ledger Nano S yet, you can get one from their website. I do have an affiliate link in the description. You can use it if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. Number 2, you need a non-custodial ETH address. So you need something, for example, with MetaMask or Mu, not a Binance or Coinbase account. Again, I'm sure he goes into more detail in this website here. The XRP Toolkit, you can visit www.xrptoolkit.com, and the full guide for the toolkit for XRP hodlers can be found at flare.veets.com. So I'm not sure, but there's probably a support forum here if you guys have any questions. Although it seems pretty self-explanatory, I will link this in the description for those of you guys who eventually want to get your hands on those Spark tokens. So thanks so much, XRP_Crow, for posting that. Not sure if you guys saw this. This from Morph at Blumart23 on Twitter. XRP, so bullish. Look at this beautiful confirmation on the Deloitte page. My hands are shaking as I'm typing this validating info. And guys, he posts a screen grab from the Deloitte website here. So he linked it in the description. This directly from Deloitte.com, okay? Cryptocurrency Security Standards, CCSS. As cryptos are expected to shift into the mainstream, one of the biggest challenges is confidence. Can CCSS bridge the gap? So they're talking about their crypto security standard protocol with regards to cryptocurrencies. Well, first of all, cryptocurrencies are expected to shift into the mainstream. That is huge. All right, that's a huge statement in itself. But more importantly, let me continue reading here. It is now more widely expected that cryptocurrencies are here to stay and they will continue to evolve until they become the mainstream currency. Although the global shift to cryptos will not be happening anytime soon, the perspective is that it is only a matter of time when and not if. Until that day, there will be a lot of shakeout before cryptos become mainstream. One of the biggest challenges of crypto is confidence. People and organizations are concerned about the authentication, authorization, and/or confidentiality limitations of cryptocurrency transactions. Such limitations are currently hindering the adoption rate of cryptos. By standardizing the security techniques and methodologies used by crypto systems around the globe, end users will be able to make educated decisions more easily about which products and services to use and with which companies they wish to align. On the other hand, many cryptos like Bitcoin are not governed by central control point or authority. Standardizing on security will be a challenging process. Standard approaches to secure environment will come from cryptos that adopt permissioned ledger mechanisms such as Ripple XRP. Mentioned right here, officially on Deloitte's website, all right? In permission ledger environments, whilst read permissions may be public or restricted to an arbitrary extent, write permissions are kept centralized to one organization. As such, standardizing on security is more achievable. So huge that they mentioned Ripple and XRP right here on the site, along with Bitcoin as being that questionable cryptocurrency for mainstream adoption, especially if you are in an industry that is highly regulated. So boom, thought this was a huge piece of news here from Morph on Twitter at Blumart23. Thanks so much for posting that, my brother. And although we haven't heard much from Bearableguy himself since his last riddle back around Easter time back in April, Bordeaux XRP here on Twitter just discovered this. Okay, and this is a huge connection. It makes a lot of sense. For those of you guys who don't know who Bearableguy is by now, or who do know who Bearableguy is right now, and dislike the cartoon bear, turn the video off. I left it for the end just so you could turn it off at this moment in time. For those of you guys who are new to the space, well, are you in for a treat? Bearableguy has been dropping clues about XRP and Ripple over the last couple of years now. Many think he's an insider. He has a Twitter account at Bearableguy123. He also has a second Twitter account, 321, and it's Bearableguy spelt backwards. Some people believe he's a true insider, giving us clues on how high XRP price will go. Others believe he is a complete phony. One thing, though, that I know for sure is that we are having a lot of fun decoding these riddles. So, guys, this is another Bearableguy riddle, and it was based on this banner that he posted on his Twitter account. So, I'm just going to bring up his Twitter account here. You guys can see this a little bit bigger here. The latest thing that we saw was this snowball, and there was a gray dot posted above the letters XRP. Now, a lot of people were, trying to figure out what that meant. But Bordeaux XRP here thinks he has decoded what this entire photograph means. So essentially he's saying Spark is running the Avalanche consensus. There are 4 protocols in it: Slush, Snowflake, Snowball, and Avalanche. And so if we go to this document from the Flare network, we can see that if we look up Avalanche, we can see that over here, Flare is the world's first Turing-complete federated Byzantine agreement network. Nodes run the Avalanche consensus protocol with a key adaptation to the FBA consensus topology. FBA is unique as a consensus topology in that it achieves safety without relying on economic incentives that can interfere with high value and high risk use cases. So the big thing here was that announcement about Flare networks integrating on the XRPL. I know a lot of us are waiting for our Spark tokens, so this was a big piece of news a few days back. And so Bordeaux XRP is suggesting the Avalanche consensus. There are 4 protocols in it: Slush, Snowflake, Snowball, and Avalanche. And so if we go to this document here, Snowflake to Avalanche, a novel metastable consensus protocol family for cryptocurrencies. And let's do a quick search here for the protocol. So their approach, we start with a non-Byzantine protocol, Slush, and progressively build up Snowflake, Snowball, and Avalanche, all based on the same common metastable mechanism. Though we provide definitions for the protocols, we defer their formal analysis and proofs of their properties to the next section. So those 4 protocols, obviously part of the Avalanche consensus. Who's Team Rocket? The guy who wrote the white paper, Snowflake to Avalanche, a novel metastable consensus protocol family with cryptocurrencies. That is this white paper here, provided to us by Team Rocket. Now, more people here advancing the discoveries here with Mickey B. Fresh. Team Rocket is now called Avalabs, or Avalabs. All the Money says yes, and posts this up here. Avalabs, the first project building on the Avalanche protocol blockchain network, is looking to modernize financial infrastructure. In this article from back in March this year, as first envisioned in a 2018 white paper. And here we go. Team Rocket, Avalanche protocol uses random network sampling to reach consensus, but it is Avalabs' ambition in building new infrastructure for their financial markets that now drives the firm forward. So they later changed their name to Avalabs, but were originally called Team Rocket. So we're seeing that here in this white paper and the connections here. So what he's suggesting: Avalanche, Slush, Snowflake, and Snowball. And we have seen these snowballs on Bearableguy's Twitter page for over a year now, so it was way, way, way before this announcement was even made. Could he have been pointing to the Flare network connection? It is a very interesting thing to be pondering at this moment. Not only that, okay guys, not only that, Bordeaux XRP, look who visited my LinkedIn page. Vanessa Alexandra Pestrito viewed your profile, and so if you're logged into LinkedIn, depending on the level of, membership you have or whatever, you can see who has viewed your LinkedIn page, and Vanessa Alexandra Pestrito actually viewed Bordeaux XRP's LinkedIn page. And for those of you guys who do not know who Vanessa is, she is an advisor at Flare Networks, and in the past, she worked for Ripple. So boom, it looks as though Bordeaux XRP is onto something. He's certainly gotten Vanessa Pestrito's attention, an advisor at Flare Networks and in the past working for Ripple. So is this the connection Bearableguy was trying to make all those months ago? Remember way back in 2018, the 589 clues, all the clues that have come out since. Boy, guys, I don't really think we know how early we were. I think a lot of us thought this was going to happen really, really quickly, but this is a process, and we're all working through it. We're all in this together. It's been a lot of fun, and it keeps getting more interesting as the months go on. I just wanted to end it with this, guys. Remember, 99% of people still don't own any crypto. You and I should count ourselves lucky. We're the early ones. Anyways, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.